I don't really care that Jamie is an ordained minister. Mr. John Cody, March 6th, 2022. 4 years of seminary in preparation. Thank you, John. Thank you.
I told you I needed Carla. She wasn't here.
I also very much want to begin today by thanking Aaron Garricky and our fabulous pianist Jill Stewart and our music director Linda Parr and song leader Sally McSpadden. Music is such a gift to the world and to this community. Music is one way of blessing the world, and we are so fortunate to have such talented people sharing with us every Sunday. Thank you. I also want to thank the UUI Fine Arts Committee and the 67th Street printmakers for the artwork gracing the walls of our sanctuary. If you are at home, you can go to 67thstreetprintmakers.org to see examples of the work that is here in the sanctuary. We'll put that in the e-blast as well if you missed that today. But I also invite you to come see it here in this space up close as well if you are able. Art, too, is such a gift. We say, let's give the Fine Arts Committee a round of applause. It's a lot of work to create this space, and they do it wonderfully. So giving is an act of faith. Giving is an act of faith. We say that every Sunday at UUI, and of course, it is much more than that. Giving is an act of love. We give naturally and easily to people we love and to things that we love just because we love them. Most of us give to the UUI community just because over time we have grown to love UUI. Its people, its values, its presence in our lives. UUI has been here for us, and we have been here for it. And many of our best memories and best moments and best relationships have taken place and formed under its auspices. And well, we've grown accustomed to its face. Giving is an act of mutual reciprocity. A lot of you have bird feeders that play a very important role in your life. And I know this because we have a meditation group that has been checking in with each other almost every day now for a few years. And bird feeders come up a lot during check-in. And there was a stretch of a couple of months this past year where because of a disease in the bird population, people were told to shut the bird feeders down to keep the disease from spreading. And you all did this, of course, because you care about the health of the birds. But you were so distressed at the same time that you could not feed them, right? You could not give your gifts to them. And you could not receive their gifts of color and song and just general birdness. And you just missed them. So when you were given the green light to open the feeders again, you were so joyous about it. You and the birds have this beautiful life-giving relationship of mutual reciprocity. I don't know if the birds know how much joy they give you. I know how much joy you take in them and in giving to them every day. Admittedly, you have a much more complicated relationship with the squirrels. Here at UUI, you have become so good at caring for one another over time. There is so much mutual reciprocity of care in this community, such genuine delight in giving, and then such a genuine appreciation for the gifts that others bring. It is wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see. I don't have a bird feeder, but just because of my role here, I do get a window seat to this particular menagerie. And I must say, you all murmurate exceedingly well. You are good at giving to one another. Giving is an act of courage. We never know exactly how our gifts will be used or received. There's vulnerability in giving, right? If we're giving money or stuff, there's material vulnerability in just giving over some of our resources that we might have kept for ourselves. If we're sharing our talents, there's emotional vulnerability in trusting that our gift will be appreciated. If we're sharing our hopes and dreams, which is its own kind of vulnerability, its own kind of gift, there's vulnerability in bearing our hearts to others. And if we're sharing in service or in action, there's vulnerability that we'll have help and support that we need, that we will not be abandoned or overwhelmed, that we're all in this together. Brene Brown says vulnerability and courage are linked. And the way we build more courageous hearts and more courageous lives is by risking vulnerability, by exercising our giving muscle, making the giving of ourselves to the world a regular practice, waking up with the intention of giving every day. Imagine if we woke up with the intention of giving every day some part of ourselves to the world, how this might open up and transform our lives. Giving is an act of hope. The world has so many terrible troubles right now. I know it has always been so. There has always been war and poverty. There has always been greed and hatred in the world, and still, the world has so many troubles right now. This past week, with the horrible war in Ukraine, the very troubling climate report just released by the IPCC that says global warming is worse than we thought, the actions taken by the Texas governor and the attorney general seeking to criminalize supportive health care for transgender youth and encouraging people in Texas to turn parents into authorities. The world has felt like a very mean place this week, and I have felt at times a little bit flattened by the accumulated weight of that. It is too much. And in the face of the enormity of it, I sometimes feel small. Maybe you feel that way too sometimes. My wife, Suzanne, always says that when you feel overwhelmed by the enormity of things and you don't know what to do, just pick the next best thing and do that. And sometimes that literally means like, go do the dishes, because hey, then, however terrible the world is, at least the dishes will be done. But because I'm part of a community of giving, I have so many opportunities to give as the next best thing that I can do. There are 1 million refugees on the Ukrainian border. It is a humanitarian catastrophe and that I really can't even wrap my head around. But here at UUI, the refugee team is doing amazing work for one particular Afghan refugee family here in Indianapolis. And I can help with that. They're helping them get IDs and household goods and transportation, medical care, employment, helping them practice English, setting up their internet, setting up their computer, getting them cell phones, just welcoming them into the community, talking to them, laughing with them, sharing meals with them. It is remarkable what you all are doing. And what we all have an opportunity to be a part of through this community. And of course, the giving flows both ways. If you talk to the refugee team, they will tell you how much the family, just through their gracious hospitality and their amazing spirit, how much they are giving back to the people who are interacting with them. I can't by myself fix the environmental mess that we're in, but the green team here at UUI is doing great work educating and advocating about how to conserve energy, how to recycle and reduce plastic use, how to adopt a more plant-based diet, how to lead more sustainable lives. They're advocating for better environmental protections at the state level, and they're working to build a citywide and statewide network of congregations that are collaborating on this work, so we're not doing it alone. UUI is absolutely a leader in the community in its environmental work. I would say this congregation is visionary. And we're just getting started, and you're all a part of it, and I get to be a part of it. I can't fix the anti-trans laws in Texas any more than I can single-handedly fix the anti-trans nonsense that is happening in states all over the country. But I can support the religious exploration program here at UUI, monetarily and by volunteering, and I can tell you that the RE program here teaches all children that they are beautiful. Teaches all children that they are beautiful. In everything we do in that program, big and small, their worth and dignity is held as unshakable. Pronouns are respected, gender diversity is celebrated, LGBTQ kids are visible, seen, loved, celebrated, loving all children as they are, teaching them to love themselves and nourishing the development of their authentic identity. That is what we do here. That is one of the most important things this community does. So everywhere that my heart was hurting this week, this community, you were already responding in some way. Giving to this community and giving through this community gives me hope, because together we are doing hopeful things. We're confronting the world as it is. We are embodying the world as we want it to be. And I can tell you, I have never been more grateful than for UUI than during this very hard week that we have had. You give me hope because you give so much good to the world. Giving is a choice. Giving is a choice to bless the world. In our meditation group that I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of meditating with mantras, just focusing on the breath and repeating a phrase over and over. And one pair of words we often use is just this. Just on the in-breath, this on the out-breath. You can try it with me if you like. Just on the in-breath, this, just this. The phrase is short for just this moment. And in the meditation, we are giving ourselves permission to be in just this moment. And we do this because we spend a lot of times as humans everywhere but now. Our head and our heart are in the past. We're creatures of memory. We fondly reminisce. We not so fondly reminisce. I can't be the only one who wakes up at 3 a.m. going like, oh my God, why did I say that thing that day in the 8th grade 38 years ago? Oh my God. Maybe I'm the only one. We worry about the past. We worry about the future. We spend a lot of time in the future, anticipating the future, planning for the future, sometimes being anxious about the future. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. This moment, the now of our lives, is where all the action is. It is in the moment of now that we claim all of our power. It is in this moment that we offer our assent or withhold our assent to that which is helpful or hurtful in the world. Our values live in the actions and choices we make in the present moment. Possibility is actualized in this moment. Love happens in the now. If you're a theist, I offer you the thought that God is operating in the now. God is at work offering possibilities to the world in this moment. And it is in this moment that we choose. And we can choose with whatever gifts we have, large or small, in this moment to bless the world. Our reading today comes from the Reverend Rebecca Ann Parker, UU theologian, former president of Starr King Seminary, who said, "Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. Choose to bless the world." The readings is well known in UU circles, but we usually just use an excerpt of a longer piece. So today, I'm going to share the rest of her words now. Of blessing the world, Reverend Parker wrote, "The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable grace, beauty, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks," she says, "for this beauty and this rage." And so she says, the choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, liberation. But more, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. She says, none of us alone can save the world. but together, that is another possibility waiting. None of us alone can save the world, but together, that is another possibility waiting. In our story for all ages today, Simon the squirrel chooses to be a blessing to an unborn bird, and thus a blessing to life and to the world, which is just as uncertain and dangerous as ours. It is Simon who imagines a possibility that the others do not, and it is Simon who first sets out on the uncertain task, giving what little he has to give, his own warmth primarily. He has to trust that it will be enough. But Simon doesn't do it alone. The other members of the community also choose to be a blessing by supporting Simon with the resources that they have to give. And so this isn't really a story about Simon. It's a story about a community where there is a community of trust, of generosity, of faithfulness, and of vision. Life-giving things can happen, and the world is blessed. Each of us have gifts to give in each moment, large or small, and those gifts can be used to bless the world. And here's the other thing. Who's to say your gift is so small anyway? Acts of love and generosity cascade and grow. The smallest seed of an idea can take root and blossom. Giving begets giving. Healing fosters healing. The smallest act of kindness can save a life. Courage is contagious, so is joy. Where there is a community of trust, of generosity, of faithfulness, and of vision, life-giving things can happen. I have been blessed by one such community. Maybe you have too. Maybe together we will bless the world. Blessed be, and amen.